At 17, I've spent most of my life navigating the hollow space between being a son and being a burden. My parents were teenagers when I was born, and their resentment was the only consistent thing about my childhood. By the time I was 4, Child Protective Services removed me from their home due to severe neglect. I was returned, then removed again at 6, and finally brought back for good at 8. After that final return, my parents shifted from active neglect to the bare minimum. I had 3 meals and eventually saw a doctor when I was sick, but the emotional silence was deafening. For a decade, I lived in a state of suspended animation, trying to figure out if they hated me or were simply indifferent. To them, I was a mistake they were legally obligated to feed until the clock ran out. Everything changed 2 years ago. My parents decided they finally wanted a real family. They had my brother, followed quickly by my sister. Watching them transform into doting, attentive parents for these 2 infants has been surreal. They are the parents I never had, yet their warmth never extends to me. I remain a ghost in their house, and in return, I've kept my distance. I don't babysit, I don't help, and I don't engage. The tension boiled over in January. My parents hired a babysitter for a date night while I was at work. They returned to find the sitter had abandoned my tiny siblings alone in the house. When I got home, the air was thick with their panic and rage, but strangely, it was directed at me. For weeks, they blamed me for the sitter's negligence. They spat out words soaked in years of buried resentment, making it clear that my very existence was still a grievance. Last week, the mask slipped further. While discussing an event they wanted to attend, they began degrading me the moment I entered the room. They called me a piece of shit for not being trustworthy enough to babysit and for having no relationship with my siblings. They even suggested I might abandon the babies just like the sitter did. They framed my lack of interest in being a big brother as a moral failing, claiming my siblings are innocent, which they are, and that my distance makes me a monster. It has messed with my head. I am turning 18 in a few months and have every intention of moving out and never looking back. I don't feel like a brother, I feel like a survivor of the people currently playing happy family in the next room. Biologically, we are related, but the titles of mom and dad feel like lies. I know the babies are innocent, and a part of me wonders if my detachment makes me just as cold as my parents were to me. But how can I be a pillar for a family that treated me like a structural defect? Am I the asshole for protecting my peace and refusing to play a role in a home that never gave me a leading part?